October 7th, I feel in a way like I've woken up. I just feel like I've come out of this post 9/11 trance of Western anti-Muslim Islamophobic socialization. And I always knew that the Islamophobia and the anti-Muslim sentiment that emerged in the West after 9/11 was baloney. I understood because of my involvement in social justice that the wars in the Levant were wars for natural resources, for gas, for money, for land. But my understanding of this was all so passive. It felt at the time like, oh, it's enough that I understand that what the United States is doing is wrong. It's enough that I understand that what Israel is doing is wrong. And I took classes on this when I was in college, and I developed this liberatory politic, and then I just kind of stopped. I stopped reading about the Middle East and the Levant. I stopped studying or researching the Arab world. I stopped getting to know Muslim people and Arab people because, based on white supremacy, they didn't move in the same circles in which I moved, and I used that as an excuse to kind of shut down and not continue my learning. And I do feel shame about that, and I do feel embarrassment about that, but I understand that my shame and my embarrassment help no one. They don't contribute to any cause. And then October 7th happened, and it kind of lit a fire under my ass of like, girl, you have to go learn more. You have to meet more people. You have to interface with more people. And in the last few months, I have learned more about Arab culture, about the faith of Islam and the tenets of Islam, and how Muslim people treat other human beings. I've learned about the difference between Turkish coffee, Jordanian and Syrian coffee, Palestinian coffee, and the rituals that connect people in their homes to not only intergenerational joy and pleasure of like sharing coffee together and having conversation, but these cultural touchstones of mindfulness and of daily practice and in grounding and rooting in their land and their people. I've learned more about Middle Eastern and Palestinian food. I've learned more about Middle Eastern and Palestinian struggle, the generations, the hundreds and hundreds of years of struggle against colonization and oppression. And I learned these things a little bit in college, but the reading I've done from human rights scholars over the last 3 months has continued to solidify my liberatory politic. And I've made so many friends, like just getting to know Muslim and Arab people, and having my social network broaden and deepen and allow me to build this really beautiful solidarity because of the actively seeking. Passivity in social justice work, expecting other people to come to you, to educate you, to introduce you to their culture. I know that sometimes people feel like it's enough, but really it's intellectually and interpersonally lazy, and it took me way too long to realize how intellectually and interpersonally lazy I was being on the topic of sort of Levantine oppression and oppression of folks from the Middle East and folks who are Arab and Muslim. And not only is the beauty of learning about their culture, their beliefs, their rituals stunning and gorgeous and rewarding in and of itself, but selfishly, it's rewarding because of what it undoes in my kind of sick Western socialized psyche. It undoes an anxiety that none of us should have to have about an enemy that's been totally constructed, that is not actually an enemy to any of us, that doesn't wish harm on any of us. As a Jewish woman, being able to interrogate the enmity and the animosity that's proposed and presented between Jewish and Arab people as something natural, like meeting Arab Jewish folks, come on, meeting Palestinian Jews, it directly contradicts this positioning of us as adversaries. And that means I get to experience the comfort. I get to experience the relief of knowing, oh, this group of people who I was taught growing up didn't care for me, wished harm on me and my people. They don't actually do that. And now this little anxiety that I've had to carry throughout my life can dissipate. It can leave me alone because I know that that bias is farce. I know that that was bullshit, that was fed to me so that I could become part of a machine and part of a system that does harm to Arab and Middle Eastern people. As always, free Gaza, free Palestine, free the West Bank, and the apartheid, and the occupation, and the genocide, and the bombardment of Gaza. And more than that, meet one another.